Welcome back, everyone, for this week's episode of our Smoky Mountain Wrestling podcast. This is Smoky Mountain Wrestling episode number 72 from June the 12th of 1993. If you're watching along on YouTube, I need to remind you the episodes are not numbered, but I'm continuing with the numbered theme because it makes it easier for me to post the shows, and you always, I think it's easier to say a number than an actual date because it could have aired on different dates. But anyway, so this is episode 72, June the 12th of 1993. You'd have to search SMW TV 6/12/1993 to find it on YouTube. But with that said, we're still in Kaywood High School. I'm sitting here with Doc and Hardbody Hopper. A couple of technical difficulties this morning, but we'll get through it. Hopper, how are you doing this morning, man?
Hi, doing okay, man.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, I saw
That's
Star
nice.
Wars last night.
Ian just spoiled it for me and Doc pre-show. We really appreciate you being a fuck son of a bitch, as old lady
I don't
Spencer
give a
says.
shit.
I give a shit.
Yeah,
I
right.
saw Star Wars before the two of you, pals.
Yeah, right.
The original.
1977 in the theater.
The original.
God, y'all are old.
Yeah, I saw the original in the theater too. But see, back then, like nowadays, a movie stays in the theater like no time. Back then, bro, I can remember Star Wars was in the fucking theater for like a year. It was ridiculous.
They have movie rentals on Netflix.
Right.
They're trying to sell fucking Blu-rays and shit. So
Yeah.
if it kept selling, fuck it. Why pull it out the theater?
Right. I remember E.T. was in the theater for forever.
Mhm.
But so
Yeah.
we know Hopper's doing all right today. Hopper, I was told to remind you that the Golden Girls are on TV Land still.
Yeah,
So you don't have to watch it on Hulu. You can watch it on TV Land. So maybe that'll help you out as you do your pre-show prep every other Friday when we do Smoky Mountain Wrestling. We're recording this before Christmas. It's December 15th, 2017, but it's not going to air for about another month. Doc, how you doing, man? You doing all right today?
Yeah, I'm all right. But what I want to talk about, and we're going to take a little detour off the Smoky Mountains for a second and head down to the New Orleans area. You said this is the middle of December, but I just want to get you guys' upstanding, fine gentleman take on the fact that a former upstanding New Orleans Saint member was just let go from the NFL Network due to some sexual harassment claims by some female staffers. Heath Evans over at the NFL Network let go this week. What do you guys say?
Bro, she was asking for it.
Damn.
She was asking for it.
For the
You saw
first
what
time,
she go to work every day.
for the first time in the history of the show, that's real classy.
Yeah.
What'd she do? Was he like? Well, she took off her pants and bent over and spread her butt cheeks out. What was I supposed to do?
Okay, Doc, I think it's important to point out that this is all allegedly right now. There's no...
Oh, yeah, but he got fired. He didn't allegedly get fired.
Well, no, I mean, he got fired, but it's still allegedly. I mean, it's not like he's on video or there's not an audio tape of him, molesting her or whatever. But
Okay,
I don't know.
so
I find that shit hard to believe with Heath Evans, though, man, because that dude, I just find it hard to believe with him. I mean, it would be the ultimate fuck, just damn, if that shit's true, because that dude does a lot for like domestic abuse, and I think his wife was even sexually assaulted when she was younger, and he does a lot of like charity work for like her organization, and
that's the work. That's the work.
Man.
You get in there and act like you're a good guy, and then you can bang all the damaged women that can't, don't have the same defenses that everybody else does because they've already been damaged.
I guess, bro. I mean, if you think about it, Gustavo Fring in Breaking Bad was right in the fucking police department's back pocket the whole time. He was, had a crystal meth ring going on. So I guess you're right there, Doc.
The good news is that I'm not too worried about my Glory Day Cowboys being outed now because they were all outed in the 90s.
Yeah.
But again, if you're not a patron of the show, just remember, that's some of the content that we've talked about on the very first patron show. So if you'd like to join and be a patron, this is a great opportunity for you to sign on up.
You're trying to be funny, but that was actually probably one of the best patron episodes we ever did.
It was the first one.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It was the best one.
We've been downhill ever since.
Well, no, it was great, bro. I mean, at the end, Hopper makes a statement about Michael Irvin having some white broad snorting a line of cocaine off his dick, and I mean, It went off the rails, which was awesome. The White House, the Dallas Cowboys ring rat house of the 90s was awesome. tinyurl.com/BTT patron is how you can get access to that and all the other patron episodes, especially the World Class Championship Wrestling shows. Now let's get into Smoky Mountain Wrestling this week. Again, episode 72, June 12th. 1993. We're in Kaywood High School in Harlan, Kentucky. Same location, so no new demographics this week. Dutch and Bob Cottle kick off the show. Dutch doesn't have any signs this week, but the main event will be the Heavenly Bodies versus the Armstrongs. Down and Dirty will feature Robbie Eagle, Tammy Fitch, and Tim Horner. What a combination there. And primetime Brian Lee is going to wrestle Paul Lee for the Beat the Champ TV title. Doc, any thoughts from the opening with Dutch and Bob Cottle?
Not a single thought.
Harper, you?
No, sir.
All right, so we move to the first match. It's Bobby Blaze versus Chris Candido. Bob Cottle describes the difference between Bobby Blaze and Candido. He said Bobby is a nice young fella, where Candido is in the category of Jim Cornette. That was Bob Cottle's expert analysis right there. Cottle, during this match, he teases us that the Rock and Roll Express was beat up recently, and Dutch was like, yeah, we'll get to this later in the hour, but there's a nice little tease there related to what's going on with the Rock and Roll and what happens. Nice little finish here, I thought. The way they protected Bobby as someone who's new, and you're going to give him a loss, but you kind of protect him in the fact that Candido, being a heel, Bobby is about to bridge Candido for the win, but Candido rolls through it and grabs a big ass handful of trunks where Bobby's ass is out and about, and Candido wins, but I thought Bobby Blaze was protected pretty well the way they did this. But your thoughts first, Doc.
God damn, pal, put that ass away. That's a main event anywhere in the world, right? Blaze Candido.
Sure.
Bobby working the arm. I thought this was a good little opener here. I thought both guys looked like they had good chemistry working together. And so I can't remember, did Bobby face the Avenger at all?
Yeah, I think he did.
So
Wait,
yeah, it looked like.
Did he? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, and I didn't have time to look because I'm a very, very busy man.
That's
so
nice.
I just thought they had good chemistry. I thought, Smoky Mountain does a good job of usually getting some crisp openers out on TV, and I think it happened again. I just never, ever want to see Bobby's ass like that again.
Yeah, really.
And they showed a replay in slow motion.
I know. I was like, God damn, I need a slow motion rape kit for my eyes.
We got a nice slow-mo of Bobby's ass crack. Harper, anything from you from that?
I thought he was going to do the natural bridge at first.
That
looked like he was. Yeah.
Yeah. It was close, but to be a true heel, you gotta grab a handful of trunks and show Bobby Blaze's ass and the bottom of his balls.
I mean, he basically almost pulled his damn pants off.
Did. Anything else, Harper, from that match or the end? Okay. All right, let's go now. So after the match, they go to a promo with Chris Candido. So here that is. Let's give it a listen.
Candido, victorious right here on Smoky Mountain. Bob Connell's talking to Chris Candido right now.
On the camera. Said it was bad camera work. Hey, by the way, still you say the world WWA.
Still world champion. Still heavyweight champion of the world, Bob Connell. I don't know what that camera showed. It's bad, cheap camera work here in the South. I didn't cheat. I'm the world champion.
All right, and I tell you about the competition here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, awfully tough. You got some big, rough, tough customers that you're going to be facing in coming weeks and in coming nights. You got to be ready every single night you get into the ring in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Bob Connell, I'm ready. There's no doubt about it, I'm ready. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, you better be ready for the world champion, because I'm here taking on all comers. I don't appreciate the fact that you said I cheated, Bob Connell. I don't appreciate that. That's bad camera work. I don't cheat. I don't cheat. I'm the world champion. I'm from New Jersey, for Christ's sake. I don't cheat.
I tell you, I think we can get another look at that. You
What?
look at it,
No.
too. All right, watch it. Watch it.
What are you
right
talking
here.
Or
about?
ass.
There it is.
Jesus Christ, Bobby's ass is
Everybody sees that
showing.
you cheated.
It's not my
I can
fault if
see
he
the
wears,
swollen
if he wears
prostate
tights
up
that
in
don't
there.
fit.
That's nice.
All right. So, Doc, your thoughts first on the promo.
Man, here's the thing I thought about, because I like Candido and I like this. I'm a Northern Angle and I'm a outside world champion because people in the South hate outsiders. But my thought is this, and it's a foreshadowing of things to come. If the people don't like Candido being from the North, and they don't like Dirty White Boy and Ron Wright pretending to be from the North. These people are not ready for the gangsters next year.
No.
That's a whole nother level. That's like, that's just next level craziness with New Jack and them. And we've talked about that a little on the other show. Yeah, you're right. Harper, thoughts from you about Candido?
I mean, you could tell he's still green because he repeats himself.
He did, and I like the fact that he but he stuck with what he needed to, which was completely denying the fact that he cheated.
Yeah.
It's absurd. I mean, it's Southern wrestling. It was great because, he's saying that's bad camera work. I mean, well, Chris, they didn't have Photoshop back then where they could Photoshop in you cheating, and they couldn't do the things that they could do now. So it is what it is.
How come we got the red X over Kanemaru's arm when it got butchered, but we didn't get a red X over Bobby's ass?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Hey, Bobby, if you're listening, we want to hear about this match and just any inside thoughts that you have on it. So, okay. I don't know. I can't answer that question. Let's continue. We go to the next segment. It's a replay of Primetime Brian Lee versus Dirty White Boy when Primetime Brian Lee defeated Dirty White Boy to retain the Beat the Champ title. You remember, this was the deal where Tracy came out to tell the ref that Dirty White Boy cheated, and then Primetime Brian Lee rolls up Dirty White Boy into a small package for the win. So after that, they go to a promo, which is the Dirty White Boy and Ron Wright, and let's listen to what they have to say.
All right, fans, here's the Dirty White Boy and the legendary Mr. Ron Wright. I tell you, all week long, I've been hearing how you two say you were cheated out of $1,000.
I've got two men that done agreed they're going to collect that bounty right here on TV today, Mr. Cotto. I ain't never been so happy. I've had to take a triple dose of my heart medicine just to keep my heart from beating completely out of my chest.
In other words, Brian Lee's going to lose his head today, right?
Let me tell you something. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff going on here today, brother, that you just don't understand or you see it coming up. The bounty will be collected here today. I've got two people in the background that's going to come out and collect it. And it's untelling who's liable to lose their head today.
All right, Ron Wright's got his $20,000 ready, right?
$20,000, the best money's ever been spent in our entire life. Today, you're going to see it today. Tracy Smothers gets eliminated. No more. And that means I just waltz around with that big, pretty belt around my waist.
Tell them people to keep the cameras on, but they may see me walk on water before we get out of here.
Oh, boy, two happy guys right here now. Mr. Ron Wright and the Dirty White Boy. Let me rewind for our Beat the TV.
Walk on water before we get.
You're going to see it today. Tracy Smothers gets eliminated. No more. And that means I just waltz around with that big, pretty belt around my waist.
Tell them people to keep the cameras on, but they may see me walk on water before we get out of here.
Oh, boy, two happy guys right here now.
Harper, your thoughts? I'll throw it to you first this time.
Well, Doc has said how much these people make a year in these areas.
Yeah.
And how fucking poor they are.
Yeah.
$20,000. He better be lucky someone doesn't fucking try to run him over with their car.
You know something? I mean,
that's a good point, actually.
Harper, you're on to something there because,
man, you know, back when I delivered pizzas, man, if you closed down at night, you had to follow the manager to the bank with the deposit because that's too much money, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Harper's on to something with that, dude. That's. Yeah.
I mean, $20,000 is. I mean, that's.
I'll kill somebody today for. Wait, what?
So I think I said this on the last show or the first time he talked about the bounty, but I pulled it up again real quick. $20,000 in May of 1993, June of 1993.
What, 34, 35?
It's $34,211 in today's money. So that's not only, Harper, are you talking $20,000 is a lot in today's money, but you go back then, dude, that's double and triple what these people are making a year. So
I know, huh?
Yeah, you're on to something when you say that. It's true. And Anything else, Harper, from that?
No, it's just
It's absurd,
probably,
right?
Right. I mean, someone might fucking try to stab him when he comes out to the ring.
Well, if you remember what Tracy Smothers said, Ron would go out there with his pistol underneath his blanket in his lap. And while I think part of that is just legend, I think there's some truth to some of that. I mean, it is what it is. But Doc, your thoughts on this?
I got confused. Is the bounty on Primetime Brian Lee or Tracy Smothers or both?
I don't know.
It's
Okay.
just Tracy, right?
Yeah, because Caudle said
I thought it was
Primetime
on
Brian Lee.
Tracy.
That was the first one. That was $10,000, right?
You talking about last year, the one that was on Primetime
No, I'm
Brian
talking
Lee.
about at the beginning of this interview, Bob Caudle said Primetime Brian Lee's going to lose his head and somebody's going to collect the money.
I think Bob may have sipped
Okay.
on, he might have had his flask under the table at the desk or whatever.
I also popped on Ron Wright because when he's not only is he saying all that walking on water, but he's sitting there rubbing his hands back and forth like he's about to execute some diabolical plan. And I honestly think at the end of this, I think for a shoot, Caudle gets a kick out of these two.
He does because he laughs a
pop
lot.
him.
And yes, I thought the line when poor old Ron Wright said, "Brother, I'm gonna have to triple up on my heart meds. I'm so excited." When he's so excited about the thought of his bounty being paid out, he's gonna pay $20,000 and he needs to triple up on his heart meds. Yes, okay. We move from that to a primetime Brian Lee versus Nature Boy Paul Lee match. He's still here, Harper. Paul Lee, that is. And it is very quick. Primetime Brian Lee wins easily. That is my only notes. Doc, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I was like, kept saying it's Primetime Brian Lee versus Paul Lee. I was like, this is the Deep South. I'm surprised all wrestlers aren't Lee, so they can all pay homage to Robert E. Lee and shit.
That's a terrible Confederate joke that you just made.
Well, I predict Lee wins. How about that?
Okay. Harper, any thoughts about this very quick match?
I just have written down he's a Dollar Tree version of Ric Flair.
I think you're right there. So let's go into the next promo now. It's the Heavenly Bodies and Jim Cornette after Primetime Brian Lee got the victory.
Now to Bob Caudle, and he's going to be standing by with Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies.
All right, fans, right now, Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies right here. You guys ought to be on cloud 9. The Armstrongs are coming up in just a few minutes.
That's exactly right. Today on television, we're going to finish the Armstrongs off. You know, I sat down, I was watching CNN. They had a real interesting report. It was kind of like a documentary. Went to Egypt. These guys went to Egypt. They had this big expedition. And they took these steam shovels. And they took this search equipment. And they took all these native bearers to carry stuff around. And they dug. And they probed. And they prodded. And they unlocked, finally, an ancient pharaoh's tomb. And inside that tomb was a sarcophagus. And inside that sarcophagus, when they flopped the seal off of it and lifted that lid, do you know what they found? Bob Armstrong's birth certificate. Let me tell you something, Bullet. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. You ain't never coming back. And after today, Daddy's little boys are going to tuck their tail between their legs, and they're going to run right back after their stinking old man who's probably at home drunk on some cheap Thunderbird because he knows he can't handle Jim Cornette. Right, Tom?
You know something, Jim? I'm looking out here at all these females, and I'm looking, and I see the lust in their eyes. Every one of them would love to run their fingers through our hair. Every one of them gets excited, just like the Armstrongs' girlfriends. Every female's desire has become the Heavenly Bodies, and my cousin, the Gigolo, is the man that can not only satisfy, but he can rectify any situation with anybody's girlfriend. You know, Armstrongs, you could get a lot more done if you would keep them girls from calling my cousin and I constantly.
Don't go away.
Hey,
It's
the
gonna
only
be a wild one.
the only bad thing is, you know who else is calling him? Bob Armstrong's old lady. She's 104, one of those big corn-fed farm women, and she's calling the heavenly bodies, man.
All right, fans, it's gonna be wild. We'll be back.
Del Rey is ridiculous. Wiggling,
God.
and fucking moving.
He's a terrible on the mic, but the wiggle saves it.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so Doc, your thoughts?
My first thought was there wasn't a single solitary person for 500 miles that knew what a sarcophagus was.
Yeah, for real, huh?
That
Easily
went over
500 miles.
That went over everybody's head. But him calling BA's birth certificate in there, and then his wife being 104, and just good corny stuff, and then Dr. Tom's got to pick it up some because his partner can't talk.
Yeah, but his gyrations do a lot of talking. They're ridiculous. Harper, any thoughts from you?
I have written down these people probably thought a sarcophagus was some type of dinosaur. I mean, these people didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He might have been talking in fucking Chinese.
Dinosaur. Okay. That popped me. Did y'all catch the mention from Cornette about the cheap Thunderbird line?
Yes.
You read Thunderbird, Mike?
I have, but let me point you in a direction of Austin uses that cheap Thunderbird phrase, so that
on Jake in the 316.
On Jake in the 316 promo when he tells Jake, and I'm gonna paraphrasing here, he needs to get he needs to get him a bottle of that cheap Thunderbird and start sipping on it so he can get back some of that courage he had in his prime during the 316 promo. So that piqued my attention because I was like, did Austin maybe hear this promo or maybe heard Corny at some point use that somewhere else? It's completely possible, and that kind of slipped into Austin's mind when he was cutting the 316 promo. I don't know. I mean, I'm speculating. Who knows? Because that promo obviously is legendary. But I caught that cheap Thunderbird line, and that was good. The Del Rey again is so sleazy. He's just is he still making you question your sexuality, Harper?
No. He just looks like pure white trash.
That's what makes it get over. Anything else, Doc and Harper, on this?
Nah.
All right. We'll keep going. Local promo. We'll do a vote. Doc, your thoughts on it, or what? You want to play or no? We got it's Scott and Steve Armstrong here.
That's the pig shirts?
Yes.
No, you don't have to play it. My only note was, well, and right before that, Caudle gave away who the mystery tag team was. But,
that's true. So I'm not gonna play. I won't play it.
Okay, so here's my note on the Armstrongs watching that promo. The Armstrongs here are like the Party Patrol on steroids, or the Von Erichs without all the death.
Nah, I wouldn't do the Party Patrol, and I wouldn't say that. Why do you use a steroid reference?
Like on steroids, not like on actual steroids, but like a better version.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. I was like, wow, yeah. I can see that. Because they are a better version. I like Scott Armstrong popped me when he did the oink oink thing, and he started snorting like a pig during it. I thought that was funny. I did get a kick out of that part of it. But, it is what it is. Harper, anything else from you on it?
I would love to know how many of those shirts they sold.
I don't know, but you just got a text message.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. That's a good question. All right.
3.
So 3. Let's maybe one day we'll get him on when he's he can't do any podcast probably because he's with WWE. You'd have to go through their.
Are you serious?
Yeah, if you're with WWE, you got to go through their whatever talent deal.
Oh fuck!
It's on their website. I pulled it one time. I was like, man, these motherfuckers ain't never gonna.
They are not interested. They are not interested in what we're trying to do, except for listening up there in Stanford. I know it.
Not just that, but after
Jericho's podcast, not too long ago.
Well, Jericho's got a relationship with them or had one at the time.
Right.
So it's different. But the way I've talked about Triple H, I've been told.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, I've been told no, thank you on the WWE front. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Way to go. Way to hurt the podcast for your own personal vendettas.
Way to go into business for yourself, asshole.
God damn. What a team player.
Down economics, asshole.
What a team player.
Jesus.
Trickle down economics. You're so stupid. Jeez. Somebody will say, what are y'all talking politics for? It's a joke, assholes.
We're not. We're talking economics, jackass.
All right. Jim Cornette, let's talk about this now, because we go from that local promo to Jim Cornette's mystery team appearing. And the short and sweet version here is the Rock and Roll Express are in the ring at an event, and this is not a televised event. This is just a house show. And the Bruise Brothers, Ron and Don Harris, come in and they lay waste to the Rock and Roll Express. I mean, they destroy them. They beat the piss out of them to a bloody pulp. Dutch points out that the Rock and Roll do not get an offensive move in. The baby faces finally come out to make the save. And I say faces, the rest of the faces in the back, the Horners of the world, the Smothers. But, the Rock and Roll take a beat down here. There's a promo right after, but I'll get both of your thoughts on what happened in the ring here between Rock and Roll and the Bruise Brothers, Ron and Don Harris. Doc, your thoughts first.
Hard to tell. That motherfucking camera needed a zoom on it. Jesus, we were far away. And all that let me do was see how empty that gym was.
We were far away from this shot. Doc, Harper, your thoughts on this?
I like how they let them kick the shit out of them for a good while.
Oh, they beat their ass for a while. They laid waste to them.
To really get it over.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. So let's go from that to the promo that the Rock and Roll Express cut. And this is right after the beating. This is in the back in the dressing room. Here it is.
Rock and Roll Express.
God, man. Look at these stitches, bro. Man, first of all, I'd like to say I'm glad one of the fans had a camera right here so I can do an interview right after this match right here. But man, we have been world champions, Robert, 4 different times, brother, and we have wrestled so many tag teams, but I've never seen a tag team like this in my life since the Road Warriors hit back in the 80s. But let me tell you one thing, Cornette. You might have slicked this once, shame on you, but if you slick this again, it's shame on you, buddy, because all you want to do is be after these belts right here. But let me tell you something. Your mystery team might be big and bad, and you might get our backs against the wall, but next time, brother, we're coming out fighting. We don't care what it takes anymore, Cornette, because now we know what you're made out of. Look at my head, Cornette. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. So bring your mystery team on back to the matches, because I told you many times before that rock and roll is here to stay. We're not here to play.
Smoky Mountain.
Harper, thoughts on Ricky there?
He just sounds pissed.
He's mad.
He's not here to fucking play, yeah.
He's mad. He's busted open.
What the fuck?
Right.
Payback is a bitch.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Doc, what did you have from it?
My first thought was, damn, he got busted the fuck open in Jerkwater, Kentucky, man. They didn't even save it for a big show with a big house. He just got busted open. But he said, we've never seen a team like this since 86. Never in 86 are contradictory terms.
He's never since or never?
We've never seen a team like this. And then he gives a date, which means you have seen a team like this.
Oh, I see what
I'm
you're saying.
just saying if Horner did that, we'd be all over him. So,
well, if Horner, here's the other part too. If we heard Horner say compare the Bruise Brothers to the Road Warriors, we'd be like, oh, dude, come on. Yeah. But he's trying to sell it. And there's some Ron and Don are some big bastards, but they're not the Road Warriors.
Huge.
Yeah, those dudes are just monsters. But again, they're not the Road Warriors. So the thing I like Ricky, and our listeners have pointed this out, and I'm starting to agree. The rock and roll is not here to play. We're here to stay. That line's rubbing me long right now. It's just like, okay, I need
rubbing you long. What is that?
Yeah, it's just It's just rubbing me the wrong way right now. It's
Okay,
just,
that's different.
it's going long. It's just he's, and again, but the problem is we hear it on 2 shows every single week because we're on the Saturday night show, so it makes it much more pronounced because you're hearing it on 2 different promotions. But anyway, I mean, he was effective here. He's a battered and bloody mess, and this is the start to another feud. We got to see where it goes. All right, so we wrap that up and we go from there to now it's Down and Dirty with Dutch and Robbie Eagle, Tammy Fitch, and Tim Horner. Combination here that is sure to make us laugh, I think. Here it is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Down and Dirty with Dutch. I'm Dutch Mantell, and you're not. Now, a special edition of Down and Dirty with Dutch. You see standing right here with me, Tammy Fitch, Robbie Eagle, and Tim Horner. Now, let me set this up here. Last week, Tammy Fitch came out here, Smoky Mountain Television, and she told Robbie Eagle right here, she said, Robbie, if you get me in contact with some wrestlers who want to talk serious contract, then I'll go out with you. Did you say that, Miss Fitch?
That's right, I said that.
Okay, she said that, and Robbie Eagle, I see you're here, and standing right here, White Lightning Tim Horner, and he looks like he may have serious contract negotiations on his mind. Now, Robbie Eagle, I'm going to tell you, could be a big day in your life if he wants to talk serious contract.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, you got to do this for me, please. I mean, look at her. It's the chance of a lifetime. Please do this for me, right? Please.
Well, Mr. Horner, what do you have to say?
Well, I did come out here to talk serious, but I want to talk to you, Robbie. Come on, man. You don't need a date with this girl. My dad told me a long time ago growing up, if you lay down with the dogs, you're going to wake up with fleas. You're about to get bit, pal.
Wait a minute. I can't. Tim Horner is leaving the ring. Robbie, what happened here? I thought you were going to bring a wrestler out here to talk. Well, obviously the deal is falling through. But now, wait just a minute. I must ask you, Miss Fitch, are you going to honor your commitment and go out with Robbie Eagle? He did bring a wrestler into this ring. Are you still going to go out with him?
Are you kidding? I'd rather go out with one of these filthy, dirty Kentucky people.
You're not going to go out with him?
No, and Robbie, you call me when you're somebody.
Whoa. Hey, don't look at me. I ain't going out with you either. Okay, fans, that's it. Don't go away. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Okay, so I want to say something. I'm going to throw it to both of you. I got to put over Tim Horner here because that line was so country from him and so good. If you lay down with dogs, you're going to wake up with fleas. You're about to get bit, pal. I can't do Tim Horner, but I love that line, and I just wanted to get that out there before you react. Harper, what were your thoughts on all this?
I'm thinking this was Robbie Eagle's chance to get some grade A pussy. and fucking Tim Horner can't just take one for the team. Just be like, look, just let her manage it for a fucking week. Come on, man. I'm tired of banging these fucking rats. Fuck.
These unattractive ones, right?
Mm-hmm. I need this, Tim.
Yeah.
Right. Tim, dude, come on, Tim. Do me a solid, please. That's a great... Harper's expert analysis these days is really on point. I got to agree with you there. I hadn't thought about that angle of it, but it's right. Come on, Horner, take one for the team. Let her manage you for a couple of weeks. Let me get me a decent piece rather than some of these toothless garanimals around here that I'm banging.
Yeah. God damn it.
You know, and Tammy's spreading that pussy around.
Whoa.
Let me get a piece of it, please, Horner. What? I didn't say that. I'm leaning into the gimmick of the show. Damn.
What show?
This one. Anyway, what were your thoughts, Doc?
I think Tammy's getting hotter by the week, pal.
She don't do nothing for me.
I was like, so
Jesus.
Something like that. So Horner's the only guy in the Fed that won't lay down with that, huh? Interesting.
Wow.
Let's
because
see where
he's
he
a
draws.
class act.
Right. Good to see where he draws the line. But I mean, here's the thing. I like
that was good, man.
It's a little comedy angle, and that angle is never going to draw money. but it's entertaining it's a mid-card angle. And every guy out there has been Robbie Eagle on some level at some point, trying to outkick their coverage and needing a little help from their buddy. It's something everybody can relate to. I like it.
Yeah, I like this. This was good. Dutch was great at the end too. Don't look at me. I ain't going out on a date with you. It'd been great if he said, "Don't look at me. I ain't sleeping with you." This was good though. All right, we'll keep it moving because then there's a promo after that. Good stuff from Down and Dirty. But next up is Tracy Smothers. It's a promo. Smothers is interrupted by Ron Wright, and this is in regards to the bounty situation. Now, I'm going to break this up into a couple of parts because one part is the promo, and then you'll hear what happens as the promo is wrapping up. And then I'll get your thoughts, and then there's a second part where Dirty White Boy does something while he's attacking Smothers that I'm going to play. It's a small soundbite of it that we really need to discuss. So let's play the first part now. Here it is.
All right, fans, with me right now, the wild-eyed Southern boy, Tracy Smothers. I see he's still all in one piece. Nobody's collected that bounty yet, but I got to tell you, Ron Wright and the Dirty White Boy are awfully happy. They say they're going to pay it. Somebody's going to collect it today.
$20,000 bounty.
$20,000 bounty. That's
Man,
right.
I'll tell you what, that's a lot of money.
You
You know,
kidding.
I've been in this sport a while now, and I've been through a lot of things, but never, ever have I ever had anybody put a $20,000 bounty on me. I saw what happened to Brian Lee when they had just a $10,000 bounty, so I could just imagine. But you know something? There are top stars calling all over the world to come into Smoky Mountain Wrestling to collect that bounty. It's like a virtual who's who in professional wrestling. Right. Man, they're all wanting a shot at it. I walked out of this to come on this interview here, and I was awful paranoid looking over my shoulder. And I looked around. Man, I walk out of my house, and I'm nervous as heck.
Wait a minute.
Mother's down there, sir. I've got these men up here in the ring, and they're going to collect that bounty for me. Now let's see where your guts is at and how big or yellow belly streak you got down your back, and be man enough to come on down here and get in the ring. The bounty is being collected now, brother.
So evidently you're going to go.
I'm fixing to get something straight right here, right now, Mr. Cottle.
All right, fans, there goes Tracy Smothers. He's heading to the ring. Dutch, anything can happen here.
Well, Ron Wright says that he put the $20,000 bounty out, and now he's called him down to the ring. Now, I don't think... wait a minute.
I don't have anything personal against you two boys at all, man. I know $20,000 is a lot of money, but money makes you do a lot of crazy things. Why don't we just forget about this whole thing, man? Because, I mean, money's the root of all evil, guys. All right? Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this, and I feel this in my heart. Hey, look at me, boys. I think you're overmatched. The best thing to do is to go back to the dressing room, okay?
Well, we see Ron Wright has brought...
All right, so I paused it there. That's up to the point where Tracy gets jumped by Paul Lee and Mike Sampson are the two guys in the ring, just for the record. They jump Tracy, and then they start wheeling and dealing on him. Doc, I'll get your thoughts first on this part of it before I tell you what happens next. You got anything there, or what?
I know what happens next.
Okay, but do you have anything on just that part of the promo before I play what happens next?
Well, yeah. You know, we can, much like we just talked about with Morton, there's a lot of floating conjecture about the fact that Smothers' stable of catchphrases is getting old for some of our listeners. Do you notice he didn't issue a single catchphrase there?
Yeah, he didn't. He was
so
straight.
Again, I thought that was awesome because he was able to convey his point without, you know, having to resort to that, and just conveyed the seriousness of the angle. So yeah, I think that was my main thing, because what's about to happen is different.
Yeah. Harper, anything before we go to the next part? What's about to happen?
It's almost like they did that little part with, hey man, you know, you don't want to do this. Money is the root of all evil. As to convince fans, don't be fucking trying shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can talk these hillbillies out of committing crimes.
Yeah.
Okay, Doc, I want to make a statement as you say that. for to defend the people of Smoky Mountains that think that we're targeting them. There's also a lot of Texas hillbillies that you could do that to as well, and there's plenty of them down in South Louisiana that are dumb as a box of fucking rocks. So
let me
explain
this. Let me explain this in crayon level terms so that everyone can understand. We're not talking about wrestling in Texas or Southern Louisiana right now. We're talking about it in the Smoky Mountains, so we're going to where the action is. Jesus.
Right. Yeah. Let's play the second part of this and hear what happens, and just try to visualize it if you haven't watched it already.
Nothing to win with it.
Lee into the corner. Wait a minute, from behind. There's the Dirty White Boy.
He's got a visitor. Dirty White Boy putting him on his head. Obviously thinking back to last week when he was...
Wait a minute. Heck, he's got a plastic bag that he took out of his tie. He's putting it over the head. He's trying to choke him. He's trying to smother him. Let me tell you, hey, all you youngsters at home, don't ever do anything. This is very dangerous.
This is very dangerous.
Don't do anything like this.
It only takes...
Extremely dangerous.
Look at that. See, he's trying to breathe, but he's sucking. There's no oxygen in there. It's all gone right now. And it won't take long before he's out. Somebody's got to come. Somebody's got to come to the rescue. This guy can go right out. He can kill him like this. He could die, Doug. Wait a minute. We get some help. Here comes the rock and roll.
Here comes Horner. Here comes the rock and roll. They get that bag off, and Smothers is gasping for breath in the ring. And they got there just in the nick of time. Fans, we'll be back right after this.
Real quick, Dirty White Boy puts a plastic bag over Tracy Smothers' head and persists to basically committing attempted murder. I don't know how else to put it. Harper, I'll throw it to you first. Thoughts?
Yeah, that seemed too fucking real. I guess they wanted to do something different than just beating the shit out of them like they normally would. But yeah, man, you can't be putting bags over people's fucking heads when there's fucking 8-year-old kids watching this shit.
Yeah, you could back then. You can't do it now. You can't do it now, but back then you could. It got quiet in that building, man, when he was trying to murder him. He's trying to kill him. Doc, your thoughts?
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
You know what that's from, Mike?
Yeah, Rocky IV.
Okay. Well, I thought Bob Caudle was certainly disturbed on a real level to make sure to warn the kiddies at home. But I mean, Terry Funk did that to Ric Flair in WCW in what, 89?
Well, okay.
It had been seen on a large level, but I get it. The crowd got quiet because it was happening to them right there. But it's a great visual, and it just shows the depths of the personal issue. We put money on this guy's head. We're willing to choke him out.
Choke him out? You're willing to kill him? You can kill somebody.
Here's what I want to know. Paul Lee and Mike Sampson have never won a match on TV, and all of a sudden they think if they're going to join forces that they can collect this bounty. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
$20,000 will make a man do a lot.
That's what we're saying, but that's why the gimmick works.
Yeah. Okay, let's
it gives people a rational confidence.
Doc, any other thoughts from what we just saw?
Man, Smothers and Dirty White Boy are after it, and I like it.
Yeah. Harper, you, anything else?
Nah.
All right. So we go to the next segment. It's a Bullet Bob Armstrong promo from his backyard. Let's hear what Bullet Bob's got to say.
Before we go to the ring for our big main event, let's hear these words from none other than Bullet Bob Armstrong himself. Let's watch this.
You know, Cornette, this funny-looking contraption over me is called a pull-up bar. I don't guess you know anything about that. But every day now, I've done a couple more pull-ups. It's getting a little easier. Like I said, I'm stretching further past the pain. The ribs still stretch, and they still hurt. But ain't nothing worth something if it don't hurt a little bit. But I hurt a lot. And now I've heard a lot about what's happening up there. You running around with all your antics outside the ring. Well, I've heard enough. The general is on his way. Armstrong's Army General is coming, brother, and I took my lessons from Patton himself. You're going to think this lion on my shirt is right because I'm going to be the lion of Smoky Mountain, and you are going to be Bambi, and I am going to chew you up and spit you out in pieces.
All right. Doc, thoughts?
Where do you get a shirt like that?
I don't know. I couldn't even make out what the fuck was on it.
It was
the
lion.
fucking lion shirts. Yeah. That was like something you get like at a truck stop.
Which
I
makes
don't go to
total sense. Which makes total sense in pro wrestling when you're driving up and down the highway.
This may come as a large surprise to all involved, but I don't really go to a lot of truck stops.
I'm not gonna say I do either, but okay.
Yeah, you're there, but not to buy things, right?
Yeah, I mean you're there to
you're selling
gas.
things, right?
No, you're there to get gas, and then you're in and out.
No, I thought you were selling
dick.
And bro, let me tell you something. Back in the day when we were, that's funny. When we were traveling and you stop, I never used to eat food from one of those fucking places. I'd rather fill up on just some junk that was prepackaged because I just don't trust the sanitation, the cleanliness of foods in those places, man. Fuck that.
So you don't want some fucking convicted felon making your fucking scrambled eggs?
After you get done,
bro.
After you get done selling $8 hand jobs in the back of the facility, you don't want to wander up north and get something to eat.
No, asshole. Okay, let's keep going. Harper, what were your thoughts on Bullet Bob there?
That fucking shirt.
See?
That fucking lion shirt.
You want one?
I was like, why would a 50-something-year-old man walk around wearing that fucking shit?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know, but by the time this thing airs, I hope we have the Hard Body Harper shirt up on the Pro Wrestling Tees store. Yeah, because I really want to see what people think about that.
If we want to give listeners the full Harper experience, make it about 3 days late on shipping.
Yeah.
To go to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, go to facebook.com/booking the territory and click the shop now button, or just look in the show notes and there's a link that says Pro Wrestling Tees, BTT. So it's there. You can click on it and check that out. We'd appreciate it. Hit the like button while you're on our Facebook page too, and join in on the discussion of the episodes. Okay, Doc, anything else from Bullet Bob there?
No, sir.
All right, so we go to the next match. It's the Heavenly Bodies with Cornette versus Scott and Steve Armstrong. If you remember, Dutch told us this would be the main at the beginning of the show. I was kind of shocked at the beginning because Dutch says that Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies have taken things too far by talking about Bullet Bob's wife and the Armstrongs' girlfriends, which seemed weird because, you'd figure Dutch and his Dutchisms, he would lay into that a little bit more. Then Bob Caudle tells us that disciplinary action may come down later on the show on what Dirty White Boy just did because of his actions against Smothers, where he basically tried to kill him. So no shit, it was attempted murder, Bob Caudle. Doc, and before we go any further, I want to ask, in the finish of the match, Harper, what were your thoughts up till that point? Not the finish, but anything we heard before that.
That was with
the Heavenly Bodies and Scott and Steve, that match.
Fuck. I was surprised they had a match like that this early in their feud.
But they don't really resolve anything. But it's a long match to fill up some time. So I guess they kind of did it. They've done this in the past, but again, there's no resolution. That's the other part of it too.
And they did two leg drops from the top ropes, which is kind of, I thought that was strange to see.
Yeah, they were flying around in this thing. They were going at it. Doc, anything else from you before we move to the finish?
One of my notes was, for being a knucklehead, Del Rey can fly.
Yes.
37.55 in, Dutch admitted to cheating all of his life, so I thought that was pretty funny. Reminded me of a few weeks back on the Saturday night show when Cornette admitted to when he cheats and Crockett and Shivani popped. I know better than to ask Mike. Harper, do you watch Shameless on Showtime?
Nah.
Okay, well, I'm going to say this for the Docaholics out there. Maybe somebody will get it. Del Rey reminds me of a young William H. Macy in Shameless. And if you watch that show on Showtime, it'll make sense to you.
Is it what kind of show is it? Like a drama series?
Yeah, it's a black comedy drama series. They're super uber poor in the south side of Chicago. And he's like a cracked out dad of a large family that's got some of the craziest shit going on that you've ever heard.
10-4, pal. 10-4.
Okay, so anyway, that was my notes.
All right, so let's go to the finish now of this thing. After like 10 minutes long of a match, lots of flying around. Of course, Corny uses his tennis racket, hits Steve Armstrong with the racket, and the Heavenly Bodies get the win when Steve is pinned. Yes, the ref did not see Cornette getting involved as usual, and that was the finish. So, I mean, you know, the faces lose, but they were cheated. So I kind of expected that, either that or no decision here. So I thought that was fine. Harper, anything else from the finish?
No, it's fucking a typical Cornette. Fucking tennis racket.
Yeah.
Fucking kept their heat. And
yeah, it's what you'd expect, to be honest with you. Doc, anything from you?
I just thought this was a really good match. Kind of long for Smoky Mountain's format, but it was entertaining and good and continues things down the path.
Yeah, it was a long match by their standards. So, okay, let's go. So after the match, it's Scott and Steve Armstrong and Rock and Roll Express, and they're going to cut a promo. So let's listen to what these two teams have to say.
All right, fans, with us right now, two teams that have really felt the wrath of team from Jim Cornette. Of course, the Armstrongs and Rock and Roll. Rick?
You see, Bob, we both got our troubles with Jimmy Cornette. The Armstrongs with the Heavenly Bodies, and the Rock and Roll Express with these two goons that Jimmy Cornette brought in against us. But you remember one thing, Jimmy Cornette, and you remember it well. You see, when we come marching here at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, it's not going to be too long until the Bullet Barb Armstrong will be leading the pack, baby, and he'll be coming after you, Cornette. All right.
Okay.
That's right. You set him up, Jimmy Cornette. Everybody just saw it took three of you, one of you with a tennis racket, you yellow-bellied fat son of a piece of crap. Let me tell you something, but it won't be long. Set them all up. Kevin Sullivan, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, or whatever the hell his name is. Set them up, and we're going to knock them down, brother, because it only takes 3 on any given night.
That's exactly right. Pritchard, you gone and got your cousin, brother. Well, I got my brother, I got my father, I got brothers all over the United States, pal. We got brothers right here, but the bottom line is, when it comes down to it, the Armstrongs gonna make the Hatfields and McCoys look like a Chinese checker match, boy.
When the Bullet and his boys get together, all they do is create stormy weather.
Yeah. All right, fans, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. Until then, so long for now.
Oh, Doc, your thoughts first.
All I was waiting for was some jip-jiving and socializing.
Well, Harper, your thoughts too.
I can't stand the stormy weather line. It bothers me. So there it is. You want me to say that?
And
go ahead, Harper. What?
And they should have just left it with the Armstrongs, and then fucking Ricky Scott get his shit in.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what he looked like, because he's standing out there in front, and I love Ricky Morton, but it's true. It looks like he's gonna get his shit in the whole time. It's like I'm watching him as like Scott and Steve are talking, and you can tell he's jonesing. He's not trying to grab the mic, but you can tell he's just waiting. He's waiting. He's got to get that line in, and he sure does. He gets it in at the end. I agree.
I mean, because they seem genuinely pissed.
Yeah.
Calling him a fat ass and all that shit.
Who did Steve Armstrong sound like there to y'all? Just a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know what you want.
He sounded like Austin a little.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to it, he sounds a little like Austin. I'm not saying he's Austin and can cut a promo like Austin. So let's just put the brakes on the hate mail before you start sending it to me. He sounds like Austin.
Why do we even do this show if everybody's just always on our ass?
I don't think everybody. It's not everybody. You just gotta, there's a couple of people out there who hate us for whatever reason, but it's cool, man.
We should go to their house.
Haters gonna hate, brother.
Let's show up at their house and see what they got to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Doc. You're gonna stretch somebody, right, Urkel? Sure, pal.
Well, you two do all the heavy lifting, and I'll bring the tennis racket.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, boy. Hey, while we're talking about hating, if you're not a hater, go to our iTunes and give us a 5-star review and write some nice comments. We definitely would appreciate that. Okay, anything else from that closing promo right there, Doc?
No, sir.
Harper, you? Do we want to play the local promo with Cornette and Ron and Don Harris, Doc?
I didn't have much for it, but you can play it if you want.
Well, there's not much there. I mean, he doesn't say anything. It's actually more visually stunning than it is audio. I can't even get it out.
What?
It's more visually stunning than it is an audio thing, because the thing that puts over the promo is you got Ron and Don Harris standing in front of the camera, and Bob Caudle and Jim Cornette look like midgets because those guys are so huge. So, like, to me, it's
behind them.
Right, it's the visual and not really what he's saying, that puts it over. So that was my thoughts. But anyway, I won't play it. It's nothing special. I mean, it's on the channel, so you can check it out. But anyway, all right. So we probably need to do some disability checks now. Doc, you are so great at this. You go first.
Disability checks, and
Yes.
I am great at this. Every week, these are calibrated right down to the 10th of a point. And I'm going to tell you, just no hokey horse shit. Let's jump right to it. 7.3.
Harper, you?
I'll give it a solid 8.
Harper gave it an 8. I got to give it a 7.5. And, 7.5. Doc, what'd you give it?
Well, an 8 seems real high. I just, this show didn't do much for me in relation to the other shows we've seen. Let me clarify.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, you and I were real close.
Yeah.
What'd you give it a 7.3 for, Doc? Why'd you do that?
Here's the thing, and it'll lead us to our next statement. It was solid, but nothing jumped out at me, so I had a really hard time. Like, if you have a hard time finding anybody to take the cheese, then the show ain't that great. If you have 4 guys that deserve some cheese, then you had a really hot show.
Fair point. So, I mean, you're on to something with that. That's a good point, because if something doesn't stand, if 2 to 3 guys, 4 guys don't stand out, like happens a lot of times with the cheese, it can make it difficult. So, I agree with you there. We're going to do the government cheese right now. I want to remind you, please use our Amazon referral link first, tinyurl.com/BTTAmazon. Great way to support the show on an ongoing basis. You can buy pretty much anything from Amazon. I know the holidays are over at this point, but if you got Amazon gift cards, please consider using our referral link. Again, it's tinyurl.com/BTTAmazon. Great way to support the show. It's a great way to support Bobby Blaze, his book, Pin Me, Pay Me. He's got his book on Amazon, so check it out. And we'd appreciate if you buy things through our Amazon referral link. Bookmark it. Give it to your wives. Give it to your girlfriends. Give it to anyone in your family who shops on Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Let's do some government cheese now. Man, this was a hard one. Government cheese-wise, because my first thought is to give it to Ron Wright when he starts talking about walking on water and
tripling up.
Yeah, tripling up his heart meds. But then part of me too wants to give it to Down and Dirty. Not Down and Dirty.
Are you trying to give it to Tim Horner?
No.
You know what? This may be the first week in the history of the Tim Horner Award that Tim Horner doesn't win it.
Yeah, that's true. Tim Horner's not winning the Tim Horner Award, Thin Man Within. Not on this one. But I also want to think about Dirty White Boy tried to murder Smothers. So I'm gonna do Dirty White Boy with his attempted murder of Smothers. Doc, you next.
Well, you've kind of outlined the path I went through to try to find mine, and I'm going to go to the same angle, but I'm going to go the other way and give it to Smothers, because he actually got his ass choked. He put his head in the bag. And he did cut the promo before without the catchphrases, and then went to the ring and told those boys that he thought they were still outmatched with 2 of them there. So I like that line. And then he did get a bag put on his head. So I'm going to go with Tracy Smothers today.
10-4. Who are you giving yours to, Harper?
Yeah, I get to Tracy getting the goddamn bag put over his head. Wouldn't it have been so much more hilarious if it would have had, like, the thank you on the bag?
Like the ones they give you from, like, the
for the Dollar Tree and shit. Yeah.
Okay, two things. I can see Smothers going, now you want, in his real aw shucks Southern way, now you want me to do what now? And then the other thing is, and this is one that I've never understood, why don't you just reach up with your finger and poke a hole where your mouth is and just start breathing again?
I mean, yeah, obviously. but that wouldn't get over on TV. So, I mean, it's a plastic bag. You can rip it off of your head with, or you can rip through it with ease. Not just put a hole where your mouth is. I mean, you could just dig your fingers into it.
With the amount of rat banging these boys did in the wrestling business, he probably wouldn't even needed his finger. He could have just stuck that tongue that gets a big workout in.
Wow.
And used that to bust through.
Using a tongue to bust the guts out of it.
That right there, people, is why you listen all the way to the end and you don't swipe left early and delete. You got to stay all the way to the book it, bitch.
That's right. Stay all the way to the book it, bitch. I totally agree with you there. So,
because you know how on some of those podcasts, the last 5 minutes are them like,
oh God, yeah.
And you're just like, okay, we're done. We do something a little different here. We may still be just as filthy in the last minute as we were in minute 1.
Bruh, there are plenty of times where I will do whether it's the Facebook or Twitter plug, which Twitter is at BTT_podcast. I'm at Mike504Saints. Hardbody Harper's at CJH Who Dat. Follow us there. But not only are we doing that, but one of y'all will say some kind of stupid ass bullshit and it leads off into a discussion up until the very end of the show. All the time. But you're right. You got shows who don't do that. Their last 10 minutes. If you ever, I'm gonna say it. You ever listen to JR? The last 10 minutes or
no,
the last 10 minutes.
I can't say that I do.
I haven't listened to JR in a long time, and I don't have anything against JR personally.
No.
But if you listen to JR, yeah, buy some barbecue sauce and use it as lubrication if you want. Do you remember the episode on JR where he got trolled on Twitter by a fake Sonny account?
Yes.
And someone. Oh no, it was Sonny got trolled by a fake JR account, and somebody said they used JR was like, well, I used the barbecue sauce for lubrication, Sonny, and Sonny was like, JR, what are you? So somebody had a parody JR account, and they were talking about
this is gonna get heat, but I can just imagine JR laying in the bed with nothing on but his black socks and his cowboy hat and a jar of barbecue sauce, working himself off.
It was funny because she thought it was JR's real account. And the fake JR is talking about using, this is like 2 years ago, talking about using the hot honey mustard or Chipotle barbecue as lubrication for when he's stabbing that ass. So that's the type of shit you get from us at the end of an episode while we're trying to tell you to go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/bookingtheterritory, and to check out our Pro Wrestling Tee store and to check the links in the show notes so that you can buy some of our t-shirts. Hopefully the Doc and Harper t-shirts will be up either on TeePublic or Pro Wrestling Tees by the time this show drops. If it's not, my apologies. We're still working on the designs and they'll be out shortly. I do want to say, again, try to become a patron. $2 a month. You get access to the patron-only stuff. It's tinyurl.com/BTT patrons. Shout out to all the Hall of Fame patrons. Al S. R.E. Miller 39, at Justin_Andretti, at ShayShiny21, at Natural Hacksaw, at Thin Man with N, Slider91 US, at Chip Daddy 32, at UFC 49ers Dodger, at Gerald Green III, at T-Hog 94, at SV Padgham, at Martin Howell 71, at Tim Moretti, Coleman 822, at Gobbled Unreal, at Unconvinced Ray. Thanks as always for being Hall of Fame patrons. We appreciate it. And lastly, check out the wrestling podcast About Nothing with the Kingpin, Brian Alonis, and Mike Crockett. They do their shows on Mondays and Thursdays. They're doing a lot more classic stuff these days and some good stuff that they're sharing. And I'd appreciate if you check my friends out. They do a good job there. That's all I got. Harper, I'm sorry, Doc, you got anything?
Zip zero, stingy with De Niro.
Yeah, let's go do episode 73 right now from June 19th of 1983. Unfortunately, you'll have to wait till next week. Harper, anything else from you before we get out of here?
Let's go.
Jip, job, and socializing. Harper, hit the tagline. Take us home.
Book it, bitch.